Hello everyone. Welcome to our weekly live streams. Today I don't have my co-host, so I have no idea if my video is doing fine. Please comment if it's blurry, slow, if you cannot hear me well. Let's try to do that today. I'm Anne Smarty. I have been an SEO for more than 20 years at this point. I've changed a lot of roles in my career, so I've seen it all for sure. At this point, I'm the co-founder of my own agency, Smarty.marketing. Please check us out. We are new, but we have lots of experience in what we are doing. So if you want to talk to me, there is a quick option on my website, Smarty.marketing, where you can schedule a free 15-minute talk with me to pick up my brains, discuss your troubles. Trust me, I'm not trying to sell anything on those calls unless you ask me to do that. So today's topic is interesting because I don't think we talk about that enough in our industry, or if we do, it's not loud enough. We definitely have a lot of noise. SEO has always been guilty of being a very noisy industry. I think like for the past 2 years, it has gone out of control. There is so much noise that no one really understands or sees a big picture of what we are supposed to be doing, what we are supposed to be doing differently, what to do overall, and everyone is trying to be louder than everyone else with their new shortcuts, with their new tactics that they discovered, new tools. There are so many tools. At some point I tried to keep track of those but failed because there is a new tool, it seems like, every other day, and they all need attention, and they all need help, and they all need customers, which is absolutely insane these days. Please subscribe and smarty.com. This is where my newsletter lives. I try to do it a new one every week and discuss those topics with you over these streamlines that go live every Wednesday, 1 p.m. EST. Subscribe at to know the topic and how to join me, because we do have a very interesting, actionable, and timely discussions every week. I did skip last week because I was on vacation. Today, my co-host is on vacation as well. The vacation season is still on, so let us do what we can here. And today's topic is basically overall LLM optimization, trying to cut through all the noise with some common sense approach to what is happening, and trying to explain it to you what exactly is GOAO, LLM optimization, however you like to call it, and what does it take. This is the topic of today's live stream. I did have a few questions from the audience before this stream, so we'll address those. There are no easy answers for sure, but we'll try to get as clear and actionable as I can today. So what is happening in our very cool and nice industry these days? SEO has been notorious for trying to find shortcuts or clear playbooks or clear tactics to search engine, organic search engine optimization for years. And for about 2 decades, that has been working. So we've been spoiled. SEO basically needed 2 things to work. This is know your keywords, which you optimize your website for. You create targeted content with those keywords. This has been changing a little bit with Panda, with other updates from Google, Hummingbird, and all of that, more conversational topics, more intent optimization. But basically, the gist of on-site work was create content to address search queries. Second, backlinks. basically combination and smart combination of those two have been historically working. That's all we needed to build organic visibility in the gist of it. Of course, there were different ways to approach different tactics, different ways to build backlinks. Some of those were dangerous, some of those were difficult and expensive, some of those were effective but not easy. But overall, that's what been working. And surprise, this is still working for search engine optimization, and search engine optimization is one of the best steps into LLM optimization, LLM visibility as well. So, not saying that you should drop these two tactics. But what is happening with LLM optimization is something different, because out of pure habit, our industry is trying to find those quick and well defined ways to be visible in AI answers, to get people see your brand as part of the answer. And that's when all those little shortcuts started appearing here and there. First of all, of course, Reddit. We all know Reddit is number one cited source in LLMs, especially ChatGPT and Gemini or AI mode. We all know that Reddit is pretty much irreplaceable in those citations, because they provide firsthand data from what people are actually discussing and what they say about their experiences with products and businesses. But the most common lead that comes to me and tries to explore our services, their most common question is, okay, I need Reddit for LLM visibility. And my answer is always yes. We can manage Reddit. We can build up your brand presence on Reddit in the most ethical and meaningful way. And with those threads that you publish will end up getting cited by LLMs. But that there is a lot more you should be doing for LLM visibility. Most businesses don't like that answer. And I know why, because they hear everywhere that Reddit is all you need for LLM visibility. Well, that's not the case. We have clients who are very confidently ranking not ranking, but being cited in AI, ChatGPT, Gemini, AI mode with their official Reddit threads and their official subreddits. But there is much more here, from being cited to being included in the answers. And that is the topic of today's episode. This is LLM consensus. It's not one URL that you manage to get cited in AI answers for you to be visible there as well. In most cases, if LLMs see you just in one URL, just on one page, and not anywhere else where they are searching for, you will not be included. If you're not part of the training data, when that means LLMs really don't know about your brand or that you even exist, there is very small chance that you will be in the answer as well. There is much more. Another tactic that many people quote as the only thing you need for LLM inclusion is listicles. That is top 10 solutions on your topic, on your search query. And we've seen a lot of brands trying to manipulate that tactic, publishing dozens and hundreds of listicles and trying to get into LLMs that way. Well, that worked temporarily. Now we see more and more that those listicles can be cited, but your brand is not included as well, because you lack other types of visibility, including Reddit, including YouTube, including everything else. So LLM inclusion, LLM optimization is much more than one tactic. Even SEO, you can rank your articles very well. You can have visibility in organic search, but unless you have other visibility elsewhere in other sources that LLMs are using, your brand may not be included. SEO, so far from my experience, has been the best single method for LLM inclusion. But even that is not enough. For example, your articles or your pages may rank well in Google, but you have zero visibility in other top cited sources, that is usually Reddit, YouTube, Wikipedia. You may not be included because LLMs don't have enough confidence that you are present elsewhere and you are being discussed in a positive way, and they will just skip you because they don't have enough proof that you are a trusted and well-known brand that people actually use. So LLM consensus is something you need to always ask when trying to buy AI optimization services. When someone is trying to sell you one tactic, telling you this is all you need for LLM inclusion, run. These people are just trying to sell whatever they can sell. And this is not what you really need if you are really interested in being present in AI answers. So, what to do? This is the common question people come to me with. If it's not just Reddit, if it's not just inclusion in listicles, if it's not just even SEO, what should we do? And the first step is very easy, and that's where I recommend people, brands, or businesses starting all the time. This is understanding your digital footprint. Currently, what people know about you, what they search when it comes to your brand name, and what they find. This is the homework that can be very difficult depending on how long have you been in the industry online. For example, my footprint is a mess. To be quite honest, I've been in SEO for 22 years, and in those years, I've been everything and anything. SEO consultant, SEO journalist, SEO community manager, SEO founder, because I've had a bunch of tools created and I was actually selling them. Guest blogging expert, guest blogging community manager, guest blogging founder. Uh, Google knows me as a blogger in the first place because I was awarded a bunch of things back in my days when I was focusing on just blogging and was making money by selling my own tools or by actually being a journalist. When you look at my digital footprint, it is a huge mess and it's very confusing. There is no one single thing Google or LLMs know about me. So they're very confused which problems I solve. So when someone is prompting something, I'm actually skipped not because of a lack of brand awareness, because I'm pretty well known in SEO and Google knows me as well and LLMs know me. But what they don't know is exactly what the problem that I'm best at solving. To fix that issue, what I need to be doing, and I sometimes start doing that, but it's a huge job to be sure, to reach out to everyone old I ever wrote for, all those bylines. It's insane. I hope in your case it's much easier, but the task is to fix your digital footprint, to be very clear as to why people should trust you. For example, you years in business, reputation, awards, partnerships, and what exactly you are doing, which is usually, in my experience, not a very easy answer to give. Because many businesses, just like myself, tried different products, different bundles, different target audiences, while before they found what exactly they would like to be doing. And many businesses are not even there. SEO didn't have to have those answers. You can rank for a variety of different problems you are solving and get found through search, and you can still do it. That still works. That combination of keywords and backlinks, again, it works and it's going to work for many more years. But if you're interested in being in AI answers, that's not enough. You need to know what you are doing and how you can be distinguished from your direct competitors. And for that, there are many ways to answer that. Like, for example, you may have a unique target audience. Maybe you are doing a best job for families. Your target audience is family with kids, and you serve them best because you know their needs best. Maybe that's unique identifiers, for example, locally farmed, manufactured in the United States, be something that can be different from other competitors. And you already know that in most cases, you may know those answers, but they are not clearly explained online. So start with your website. About pages always tend to be very old, very outdated, very not specific and not detailed. Start there. I've seen a lot of AI answers improvements after I just updated my about pages that were 10 years old. Then make sure to go outside of your website to your social media profiles, directory listings, claimed listings on Yelp, TripAdvisor, everywhere else. Make those as specific, clear, and detailed as much as you can. Social media profiles, all of those contribute to that LLM consensus that we are talking about. Where else are you mentioned? In my case, those are bylines for blogs that I haven't been writing for 10 years, for example. Fixing those takes some time because I personally may have lost some of those key editorial context in those on those sites. But that's essential to create a list, go from one to one, find common context with those people you used to write for example, and ask them how that could be solved. Every mention, not just your top 10. LLMs search very thoroughly. They can search for fanouts that are longer than any user can ever type in the search box. So it's not just your top 10 results for your brand name or for your brand name variations. Make a very thorough list of everything that needs to be updated and work on those updates. Fresh reviews from people, like many businesses that I'm seeing, they change the workflow, how they curate reviews because of many changes in the terms and service of those platforms or general laws, and those reviews that are on those on different platforms can be very, very old. So work on those as well. As much digital footprint that you can collect and make very concise, clear, and consistent, saying the same thing about the same value proposition, the same unique identifiers that you have over and over again. This is all your sites, your properties, your context. It's very doable, even though in many cases not very easy. Next step would be already identifying gaps and cover it like publications that talk about your competitors, but not about you, especially if they mention 2 or 3 of your competitors, but never you. Those can be, that's a separate strategy, also very important, but can be approached case by case, depending on how those lists or how those articles are created. You can work on publishing something new on those sites or reaching out for updates or inclusion to existing pages. That already is a huge different strategy that is much more challenging than fixing your current footprint. Starting new channels, in many cases, for most sites that I'm seeing, this is Reddit and YouTube. Those two, if you have your own owned channels on those, already will give you a lot of confidence for LLMs if you keep consistent footprint there as well, talking about the pain points that you're solving, all of that. Hard work, but unfortunately, no one single way to attack that. Digital PR, same in most cases, works for reminding LLMs of your brand and building your authority and trust as well, but not enough. None of those tactics, if you take them as a single one, none of them is enough. This is all cross-channel because you need to build that consensus as much as you can, and that takes time. So I guess the biggest takeaway from today's streamline is that it's not easy, but the great thing about that is that 99% of businesses are doing that wrong. If you do that right, this is your competitive advantage. You will be the first there and you will be long term there. So if you just do things right, this is your biggest competitive advantage. And it's great time to do that now, again, because not many businesses do that right at this point. So very good time to start building something real. With that, let's address a couple of questions. I know we have, let's see, one. Katya, do you feel even severely outdated guidelines make an impact? Here is the thing. The LLMs are searching very spontaneously. I was surprised myself sometimes when I search who is any smarty or top female SEOs, top SEO experts. I could be listed, and the citation could be the byline that hasn't been touched for 10 years. And this is when I see all the wrong information about me in the answer. I'm the founder of the project that is not anywhere close to being alive yet. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. How big of an impact? It depends on how much digital footprint you have overall. If you only have outdated bylines, of course, there will be bigger impact. I'm a different story. I have a lot of footprint. Some of it is earlier, some of that is more recent. Whichever LLMs pick up is, again, very spontaneous, so no way to predict that. My recommendation is to try to update as much as possible. Not everything is updatable. I get that. I'm in the same boat. Some of my oldest bylines or interviews also is an interesting thing because I've been giving them for 20 years, and many of them are not under my control anymore because the website moved somewhere, they have new owners. My interview is still live. It can still be used by LLMs as an answer. And the most unfortunate part is that those all outdated things are already in the training data. It's not fixable unless you add more up-to-date things there. So I'm focusing on creating new digital footprint, even if I cannot fix something old one. But the more you can update, the better. There is no definitive way LLMs would go researching your competitors or you, and sometimes they can dig something very, very old up, which I already forgot existed. It's not ranking in Google. It's many years old. For some reason, they find it and they quote it and cite it. I do those branded prompts regularly. I actually track them in PKI, the platform that I'm using, so I can track those weird, outdated citations from time to time, and I attack them as they happen, which is not the way I recommend. I recommend a more extensive AI LLM consensus audit, so that it includes everything and anything you are able to find anywhere, be it Google, Bing, whatever you're using, including citations from LLMs, and try to fix as much as you can. I guess update what is possible and create more fresh content that is right in different channels. Yes, cross-channel, the biggest thing. It's been like this for a while. Even before LLMs, I always suggested creating a lot of channels, at least for a goal not to depend on Google alone and Now, no one, nothing proved me wrong there. I've seen a lot of websites penalized by helpful content, for example, but able to switch to Facebook groups, Pinterest channels, all of that, because they were not just focusing on Google. It has always been the smartest strategy. Create as many channels as you can. I personally haven't been ranking that well for many years because my websites, my personal, my professional websites have always been not on top of the list of my priorities because I've had a lot of other things to do. But I was always able to rely on other channels and my personal brand as well. So cross channel as much as you can. With that, let's look at one question I promised to answer, even though there is no easy answer there. But let's see. How does anyone know a tactic worked? Every AI visibility case study I've read reports a lift without a control condition, so there is no way to separate a real change from a model drift or prompt sensitivity. Curious whether what most strategists miss includes measurement itself. A very good question, which we don't have the answer. And it's not very specific to LLM optimization at this point. We cannot reliably measure Reddit performance as well. Most of that doesn't have clicks, so no attribution. Same with LLM answers. No clicks, no easy attribution, no easy measurement, no easy way to tell, okay, this is what has definitely worked. Over time, it's easier to tell if everything you are doing is doing something to your LLM visibility. That is doable from like very long distance over time. Specifically telling, okay, this tactic we did worked is no longer possible. This is not possible for SEO as well. And it has been like this for a few years now. It used to be much easier. You can launch a link building campaign, and in 1 or 2 months, here you go, you see the uplift. It not even possible in SEO with so many variables. Changing search features, they add AI overview, you have traffic drop regardless of what you did before. There are so many things you no longer control. With LLM, it's even fuzzier because they all different. Something changes, they start changing. ChatGPT searches differently every other month. How do we create a strategy or tracking behind that? Sometimes they start searching for site column, sometimes brand name, sometimes they start adding dates, sometimes they start searching for 20 long queries instead of 5 specific ones. Different models, different searching behaviors, different training data, different training data update timelines. ChatGPT updates their training data every 6 months. So you can do stuff and not seeing real results for 6 months. Different citations. ChatGPT cites absolutely different things from Gemini and Claude. Creating a strategy where you can say, okay, I did this, now we can see results here. No longer possible. That's why when people tell me, give me a case study, I say, okay, I can give you a case study how we improved citations for our client. This is measurable. We see citations. We can see, okay, this URL gets cited much more. How much of different impact it actually resulted in is not possible because a URL can be cited, but it cannot help inclusion of the brand in the answer. So it's like semi impactful result, which we can report on, but I'm always very transparent about that. That's not what we are looking for. Instead, we want inclusion in the answer as well, and we can only track that over a huge period of time, and seeing that not one tactic, everything we did worked. Basically, this is the only measurement that we can provide businesses now. So be very, very careful with trusting case studies, with trusting some magic tactics that did something. It's probably temporal. It will probably backfire if you do something too much. Usually backfires, either whether it's Google, whether it's Reddit, whether it's LLMs. Overusing tactical approaches usually take you nowhere and actually over time get worse results than you ever had. Cross-channel, long-term are the ways to go. I hope you liked today's streamline. Please join me next Wednesday. I hope my co-host will be back so that I don't have to talk all the time. Please subscribe benchmark.com to see what we are going to discuss next week and also get a URL to join. See you next week and have a great week, everyone.